Hello everyone, welcome back or welcome to Station 07.1 Podfix. I am your host, Rin, and this is a new one-shot called Mean Mugs and Grudges, written by belicorn123 on AO3. This is rated general audience for no archive warnings applied, M/M, Izuku/Hitoshi, and this is a Boku no Hero Academia crack fic. I hope you enjoy, and make sure to go to the description for the link to the fic. Summary: Hitoshi can hold a grudge. Or, Hitoshi finds out about the shit Bakugo did to Izuku. While Izuku has forgiven him, Hitoshi holds grudges. Features: Hitoshi holding mildly threatening mugs and drinking from them while glaring at Bakugo, such as things like, "Dear Karma, I have a list of people you missed." Hitoshi's iconic snarky comments being very directed at Bakugo. Todoroki quietly approving of this in the background. Everyone else being confused as fuck. Author notes: I love mean and sarcastic mugs, and they always remind me of Shinso, so I had to do this. Izuku had long since forgiven Bakugo for the shit he had pulled in middle school. His boyfriend, however, was not so easily forgiving. They had been bonding over some trauma dumps about middle school when Izuku offhandedly mentioned that it was Bakugo who hurt him the most, and, well, Hitoshi had never looked more furious than he did in that moment. "I'm going to kill him." "You can't kill him. Besides, I've forgiven him. He's a better person now." "He still hurt you. He hasn't paid for that in the slightest. I mean, fuck, I actually put up with him despite him literally being the symbol of everything I hate." "Toshi, you can't be angry at him. He wouldn't do that anymore." "I still hate him for hurting you," Hitoshi whined. "Fine, you can dislike him if you really have to, but please don't go picking fights, okay?" "Okay, but only because I don't want him to get angry at you." Hitoshi agreed, and the two went back to the trauma dumping session with ease. Izuku assumed that was the end of it. Izuku was wrong. "Hey, Mito?" Kaminari asked a few days later during one of their breaks for food while Izuku was tutoring him. "Yeah?" Izuku asked, pulling the freshly popped popcorn. "Have you noticed Shinso's new mugs?" "No. What is it?" "Please tell me it's not embarrassing. If it's another thing commenting on my, quote, good-looking ass, I'm going to punt his ass to America." No, nothing like that. It's just, he's been using a lot more of his angry ones. I don't know if you've noticed it. Huh. I'll keep my eye on it. Thanks, Kaminari. Of course. With that, they returned to studying, eating their popcorn happily. The next morning, Izuku watched his boyfriend more carefully, and sure enough, he pulled out one of his mugs that only came out when he was annoyed at someone. Izuku watched Hitoshi fill the mug with coffee, and then joined him in Todoroki, only to pointedly glare daggers at Bakugo over the top of his mug that read, "Dear Karma, I have a list of people you missed." Oh? This was bad. "Toshi?" Izuku asked, and his boyfriend set the mug down, words pointed carefully in Bakugo's direction before bringing his attention to Izuku. "Yes, love? Are you threatening Kachan with your mugs?" "What? No, I would never." "Toshi," Izuku glared. "Fine, maybe a little, but he deserves worse." I agree," Todoroki murmured, thinking for a second before turning to Hitoshi. "Can I borrow one of your more aggressive mugs?" "Roki!" Izuku gasped. "Sure. Are you wanting it directed at Bakugo or Endeavor?" "Toshi!" "Both." "Roki!" "Yes." Todoroki asked, while Hitoshi just left to search the mug cabinet. You can't just. Izuku waved his hands erratically. Just hold an angry mug and glare at someone. Why not? It's not very heroic, Izuku tried, hoping that would be the argument Todoroki would agree with. Neither is child abuse, but endeavor is still number one, Todoroki pointed out, his expression as deadpan as ever, which had Izuku choking on his cereal. Roki! Yes, Todoroki answered with an air of innocence, and Izuku just dropped his head onto the table with a bang. Why did he even bother? Here. Hitoshi grinned, passing a mug over to Todoroki, who took it and headed to the kitchen to fill it up, probably with plain milk, knowing him, but he was an icon, so it worked somehow. Izuku watched in mild dismay as his best friend and boyfriend sat down next to each other, glaring over the edge of their mugs at Bakugo. Izuku had thought Hitoshi's was bad, but compared to Todoroki's, I hate it when I have to be nice to someone I really want to throw a brick at mug, Hitoshi's was perfectly tame. No matter what Izuku did, each morning Hitoshi would show up with a different mug, always glaring pointedly at Bakugo. The "my cat hates you so I hate you" mug was shockingly tame, but it was combined with a travel mug taken to class which read, "If villains charge us, I'm tripping you. Nothing personal," which was a lot darker, and was used consistently throughout the day, giving Hitoshi plenty of time to glare pointedly at Bakugo, who was starting to actually notice it. Great, just great. Toshi, don't you think this is enough? Can't you let it go? Izuku tried one morning, but his boyfriend just shrugged. I'm not good at letting go of grudges, Izu, Hitoshi replied, pulling out a "sorry if I offended you by stating facts" mug, and once more filling it with coffee. Izuku was getting nowhere. After "what the duck is your problem?" with an illustrated duck for the word duck mug, "don't worry, I don't like you" mug, "yes, I am secretly plotting your downfall, what about it" mug, and "I may look calm, but in my head I've already slapped you" mug. Izuku was pleasantly surprised to see Hitoshi walk out of the kitchen with a mug that simply said good morning. He had finally gotten over his grudge, and things could return to normal. Right? Wrong. Hitoshi tipped the mug up to take a sip, and Izuku saw the middle finger emoji on the bottom of the mug, which was very clearly pointed towards Bakugo. Maybe it was time to give up on the idea that Hitoshi would stop holding a grudge. It was after another week, filled with different aggressive mugs and Bakugo glaring right back before things finally came to an abrupt conclusion. Hitoshi has a new mug, and Izuku almost cried when he realized that his boyfriend had decided to get a custom Bakugo fucking sucks, yes, offense intended, mug. Bakugo, it seems, took this as the last straw and stormed over to them. What the fuck is your problem, eye bags? Bakugo snarled, his hands banging down on the table in front of the boy. I have to see your shitty face every day. That's my problem. Go to hell! When you're around, I'm already there. Guys, you're a fucking bratty little bitch with no concept of intelligence, Bakugo screeched, paying no heed to Izuku's attempt to calm him and Hitoshi both down. Ooh, big words. I'm so proud. You know, it's kind of hilarious watching you try and fit your entire vocabulary into one sentence. Toshi! Izuku gaped at his boyfriend. You will never be a fucking hero, you useless fuck. Kachan! Izuku hissed in horror at the words. I tolerate you on a daily basis. I'm already a fucking hero. Toshi! What the fuck is your problem, bitch? Kachan! We already went over this. You are. Fucking hell. Were you born this stupid, or did you take lessons? Guys! I'm not fucking stupid. I literally get higher scores than you in all our tests. Guys! Right. I'm sorry. You're not stupid. You just have bad luck when it comes to thinking. You bitch! I'm gonna fucking kill you. Alright, that's enough! Toshi, my room now. Kachan, go talk to Kirishima and calm the hell down, Izuku instructed, dragging away his boyfriend, who was grinning like a fucking madman, only stopping once they were safely in Izuku's room. Toshi! What the hell are you doing? He's a fucking brat and he deserves it. You know that. Just because he hurt me doesn't mean you can start a fight. You literally said you wouldn't. I didn't start anything. He came over to me. You literally bought a mug specifically to insult him, Toshi. Fine, you have a point. Was it at least hot, though? Izuku stared at his boyfriend for a solid 3 seconds before letting out a long, suffering sigh. Yes, it was. Just a little, Izuku groaned, knowing he'd never lived this down, but also not willing to lie to his boyfriend. Hitoshi grinned, pulling Izuku into a kiss. I promise I'll try to cause less drama, but I can't promise to stop with the mugs, Hitoshi offered when they separated. That's fine. The mugs are kind of funny anyway. I knew you liked the mugs! Omake, or bonus. Endeavor watched his younger son with a slight sense of caution and concern. Shoto just smiled lightly, seeming completely oblivious to the way Endeavor was watching him in an attempt to gauge how insane Shoto had gone and how likely Shoto was to actually try to kill him. Shoto didn't so much as blink as he watched his father with almost complete disinterest and slowly lifted the mug to his lips, not breaking eye contact over the rim of the mug that read, I hate it when I have to be nice to someone I really want to throw a brick at. He set it back down, the words still facing Endeavor, and smiled once more. Did you have a good day, father? If from that moment onwards any time Shoto held anything remotely brick-like, Endeavor seemed to vanish, no one would know. Actually, that's not true. Shoto very much bragged about it, and Natsuo joined in as well, ecstatic to finally have a reliable method of keeping Endeavor away. Natsuo's new favorite mug went everywhere with him, somehow always at least half full, and reading, If you try to talk to me while this has any liquid in it, the liquid will be all over you. You have been warned. After being drenched once by a mug of water held by his son, Endeavor did not make the same mistake again. He listened to the mugs. And that was the end of this one shot. If you enjoyed this at all, make sure to go to the link in the description, which takes you to the fic, and leave some kudos to show your love to the real author. This was Station 07.1 Podfix. Make sure to tune in another time for another fic.